Hi folks, Matt DiFrancesco here, and I wanted to come to you on a special broadcast of my podcast to basically talk about the things that are happening today with the COVID-19 virus, a lot of the things that the governments have been implementing, some of the self-quarantines, those type of things, and then how it's affecting the markets. I think the first thing that we need to understand, and I think a lot of times when, especially with the market drop that we've seen, the first thing that comes to people's minds is 2008. And one of the things that I've been reassuring my clients, and I want to reassure anybody who's listening to this is not a 2008 event. That was a structural problem within the economy. This is more of what they call like a black swan, kind of an outlier out there. So the key thing is to not panic in this time. Too many times people, when they see the markets going down, they're looking at their accounts, their statements, and they're like, oh my gosh, I got to stop the blood flow, and they want to move in. And it's counter to every investing principle that people, that's taught out there. I mean, we all hear about Warren Buffett saying, buy low, sell high. Yet when we get emotionally involved in these things, we have a tendency to do the counterintuitive thing. And so what I recommend to clients is, no, stay the course. Now's the time you want to be buying if you're in a 401k plan. Continue to put money in. Think about it. You're doing a thing called dollar cost averaging. So you're buying at much lower prices and buying more shares. With most of our private clients, we saw some of the overvaluations, and we actually moved a bigger portion than we normally would into cash to help to stem the tide. But now's not the time to react. So I think that's the key thing. It's really, we need to just stay the course. Remember this. If you were around in 2008, the question to ask yourself is, did you survive it? And I tell that to my clients. And my clients say, yeah, we did. And I said, we're going to survive this one too. So that's more from the market perspective. I think from when we look at the COVID-19, there's a couple of things that are out there. I really see two different approaches to it. Some people are overly cautious. They won't go near anybody. They're completely self-quarantining. They've bought, 250 rolls of toilet paper. They're ready. Okay. And then you've got another group that is like, I don't buy all this. It's a government conspiracy. I'm just going to go do my own thing. And as always, the truth is always probably somewhere in the middle. I think that, we don't need to get ourselves over hyped up about this type of thing, but we do need to be cautious, if not for ourselves, then for our fellow human beings. I mean, if I don't want to go shake somebody's hand just to be defiant for myself, when that may make them uncomfortable, and that may also expose them too. So I think it just takes a little bit of common sense here to figure out what should we do, what shouldn't we do. The other thing I think that's and I put this out through social media was some of the economic ramifications of COVID-19. And I think one of the things that if you're in a service business, okay, restaurants, stores, anything where you serve the public, sporting events, all of those, this virus and the ramifications of it are going to affect those industries in a very significant way. Now, my clients are in those industries. We have put our plan in place. I talk about this in one of my other podcasts about putting the self-buyout plan in place. So we've got contingency plans during this period. But if you don't, I recommend that you start to look and say, what can we do if we have a significant downturn in our business because people aren't going out or governments are saying, we need to be closed, whatever the reason is. The second thing I think we need to look at, and this is really just getting back to just being good human beings, is let's look at your employees too and how this affects them. Again, those in the service industry are typically not higher earning employees, but they still rely on this income. And so what can you do to help make their lives a little easier? I think those are all things that you can do. So I have a number of ideas with, every business is going to be a little different. So, I always recommend that if you have any questions or want to discuss any of these ideas, reach out to us. Go to my website. It's DiFranVFO.com. So that's DIFRAN, V as in Victor, F as in Franco, O as in octopus.com. And you can schedule a 30-minute intro call where we can talk about your situation and look to see what further steps we may want to take. So those are really basically my thoughts right now on what's going on. I think the main, again, to kind of summarize is to keep our focus on the long term. Let's not allow our emotions to dictate. Hopefully you do have a good advisor who's basically telling you stay the course. We don't want to panic. We don't want to do anything drastic. And if you don't, feel free to reach out to us. So with that, I just hope everybody stays safe. Let's use common sense through this all. And I'll be praying for each and every one of you, whether directly or indirectly. So take care and God bless.